Okay, approaching the end of this book. We're in 5.3 at the very end of 5.3 practical animation. And the objective is to help you understand when it's a good time to use an animation. You'll create an animation that will help you. It will help your app be more intuitive. All right, create a new Xcode project called Contest. This one should be pretty easy, folks. I hope, knock on wood. All right. It's not a Mac OS, it's iOS, single view app, and we're going to call it Contest. I'm going to put that in my demos directory, but you can put it wherever is appropriate for you, maybe the desktop. And here we go, we're in Xcode. The app will have the user enter an email address to be entered into a contest to win a prize. When they tap the button, they'll be taken to another screen that says they've been entered into the contest. If the user has not entered an email address but taps submit, the app will stay on that view and the text field will animate to grab their attention. All right, on the first view controller, have a label at the top to tell the user that they need to enter an email address in order to be entered into the contest. So label first, then a text field, then a button to submit. We got this, no worries. Back in Xcode, go to your storyboard, type in a label down here, and drag the label in. Then type in text. Now there's text view and text field. Text field is the one we want. Drag in a text field. And then they wanted a button. Throw a button in here. You might want to stretch your text field out. They're going to enter an email address, which might be large, and stretch the label out as well. I always like to make my button a little bit larger than the default button. Center it up. Not entirely sure where they want it. Let's put it in the center at least, I guess. Center it up. Something like that. Also, I always just hit Command A. I click on something and then hit Command A, and then I'm going to add some suggested constraints. And why not? I'm going to click on the background here and make it a different color just because it might make things stand out a little bit. Let's make it this color, I guess. I think for this we'll probably want to put enter email address. And then for the text field, you can put some placeholder text in. Oh, right over here, placeholder text. All right. And for a button, let's put something like an action, like enter. Enter contest. Oh, looks like I need more space here. Also, I'm not sure I like that blue color for the text. I'm going to change the text color to something a little bit darker. And I'm going to make it a little bit bolder. This text I don't like. I'm going to change it to Helvetica New. Custom. Actually, yeah. Helvetica New. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, now I'll go back to the instructions and see if I'm on the right track. Oh, you see how it's orange here? That means I need to update my constraints. So I'm going to hit Command A, select everything, update constraints, and everything should line up again. So it does say to add another view controller, like a second view controller, and to create a segue from the first view to the second view. Now that we've got multiple view controllers, I think I might change things to a navigation view controller. So let's open up Xcode just where we were, bring it back up, and yeah, I'm going to add navigation controller. Put it in there. So I dropped the navigation controller in there, and then I'm going to delete this table view off of it. So now we've just got the fancy navigation part, the beginning part. I'm going to make this, see how there's the arrow fading in? This is no longer going to be the initial view controller. Now the navigation view is going to be the initial view controller. So navigation's got the fading arrow. And then I have to connect these two. I think I do control, click, and drag from here to here. Let go, and then I select root view controller. There you go, it's connected. Also, instead of just enter email address, let's say, because why are they entering the email address? We want to give them some more information. Enter your email address to win a free iMac. There. And make it a couple lines. See, I increased the number of lines for the label, so that, see, if you have one line, it goes to one line there, 2 lines. Let's make it even up to 3 lines, and I'll extend this up. You see it's red now? Well, I've got to update my constraints a little bit. That's fine, that'll be easy. Enter your email address, how about for the chance to win? You don't automatically win it. For the chance to win a free iMac. All right, select all. Reset. Okay, got rid of the red. So I reset to suggested constraints. Let's just build and run this and see if it launches or crashes. I'm not really a fan of my color there. It's not very festive. Maybe I'll go with yellow. Still waiting for it to build and run. Just thinking. There we go. Okay. You know, I built it before I changed my colors, but it is here. You click in there and the text shows up. The text field or the text box shows up. Great. It's got the placeholder text. Start typing. It's got, okay, great. And then the button does something. I might actually slide the button up a little bit higher so that this keyboard's not kind of in the way. And I know there's some clever code to make that even fancier, but I'm not feeling that. Slide everything up a little bit. And then you'll see everything's kind of orange, so you got to update the constraints. All right, next step, it's got to be when you click the button for it to advance to the next, another view. So we're going to need another view controller. So I'm going to type in view, and here's a view controller, the yellow one. Drag it in there. Now we got another thingy. I think you can just control click from here over here and choose present modally. Let's give that a shot. I just want to see what happens. And I'm just going to put a label on this next screen so it's not just white. All right, let's see what happens. Type some stuff, hit enter, boom, look at that, pop that thing up. Now, modally threw it in front and it didn't give me a nice back button here. I wonder if that's okay. Let me look at the instructions, because I might want to change that. Add a text field, add a button, add another view controller, create a segue from the first view controller to the second, give it an identifier. Okay. On the second view controller, add a label to say they've successfully entered the contest. Create an IB outlet for the email text field. Create an IB action. For the submit button. Okay. Okay, so they just said to create a segue from the first view to the second view. And to make it easier on us, so we have the nice back button that's created, I'm going to delete this segue, and I'm going to control click from here to here and click show, and there's that back button that shows up. They said to identify this, so I'm going to click on this segue and identify it as Segue for now. Segue. You could call it something fancy later if we need to, but now it's just called Segue. They said to create an outlet for the text field and the button. Let's do that really quick. By the way, if I'm doing this too fast, in YouTube, in the bottom corner, you can change the settings to slow down or speed up if you want me to work even faster. You can watch videos at different speeds. Pretty cool. Okay, opening up Assistant Editor here. I'm going to hide some stuff to give myself some space. Make sure that we're in the right place. Hold down the Control, drag in over here. We're making an outlet. We'll call this text outlet, or actually I'll call it more specifically email outlet. And they said to make an action for the button. Control click for the button action. So enter action, I guess I'll call it. But it's not an outlet, it's an action. Touch up inside. I'm going to print out something here just to make sure it's working. You can actually do BAM, and then you can do email. So slash parentheses, email outlet dot text. That should print what we had in the email outlet up there. Oh, I have to fix it up a little bit. Let me fix it first and then rebuild it. All right. I just picked describing, string describing, which should work. You can do the other one too to specify a default value. I think that's the other one. Let me click here, type in my email. Now, there might be a better keyboard for typing in emails, and hit enter context. Bam, and here's the email, and it went to the next page. Now, we might have to change this, because now I think what they want us to do is to make it so if they type in the wrong email address or something incorrect, like if you type in something bogus, then it stops you before you go to the next page and maybe does something here. That's what I would think. But right now, no matter what you click, it'll send you to the next page. Let's take a look at those instructions. Yeah, I see. So we have to fix some things here. I'm going to turn off the Assistant Editor and go back over here to my files. And I'm opening up, View Controller. All right, we don't need this view to load right now. We don't need this memory warning. We do have an action here. Now, what we want to do is we want to check some stuff. Let's check if the email outlet dot text. And now let's check to make sure it's like not equal to just like nothing. Like to make sure they put something in there. Or else. So if it's empty, then we want to do something like bad. And if it's not, then let's print. Now you'd probably put some better logic in here, like check to see if there's an @ symbol in the email address, perhaps, or do some extra logic to make sure that it's actually a legitimate email address. But for now, let's just say if it's not blank, then it's good. And if it's good, then we can go to the next scene. So perform, you want the perform segue, S-E-G-U-E, with identifier. This is why we identified it before, and we called it just simply segue. And the sender can be nil. So now, if we got a good email address, then go to the next page. If not, go to the bad. Or then here's where we got to insert some cool animation. And the easiest thing I like to do is to say email outlet dot background color equals dot yellow. We can do .red, but that's a little bit harsh. Let's just stick with yellow. All right, and then we got to go into our storyboard because we forced this connection, and we're going to delete. Oh, wait, do we delete that connection? This is very interesting. I think what you want to do is delete this connection, and then control drag from up here over here, and hit show. Now we're going to call this one segue. Okay, now let's build and run and see what happens. Let's see. So I'm just going to hit enter contest. Oh no, it says that's good. Why does it say that's good? What if I put text in here? Do I have my stuff backwards? Yeah, I have it backwards. All right, bad logic. Yes, if the email outlet text is equal to blank, then it's bad. Background color yellow, or else it's good and perform the segue. So very cool. Now we got to put some maybe some animation in here. Let's do something fancy here. UI view dot animate with duration. Let's make the duration, I don't know. Let's just make it 1.0 seconds, a whole second of animation. The animations, all right. So here's the closure. So let's make it move right equal what is it? CG affine transform. And so you're going to do X and a Y. We just need X and Y. I think this is the one. Yeah, translate X, and we'll make it 20, and Y we'll make it 0. So that's horizontally. Sorry, this is taking me a moment to think of. Self dot email outlet dot transform, and assign it to that right, the move right. So it's going to slide it right. Oh, I guess 20 is or 1 second is probably pretty long. We probably want it shorter. So now we've got, let's just see what this does, and then let's add to it. Enter your email address. Okay, and I hit enter, and it slides that right. Did you catch that? I kind of want to slide it instead of right. I kind of want to slide it 10 here, and it's 20 up. So it would be nice if it was slid back and forth, right? I think I might just shake it up and down instead. So to do that, we need to add another closure behind this. Boom, ba-doom, like this, with this thingy in. I don't commit this to memory. This is, okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this, but instead of it being 10, I'm going to make it -10. And this is actually, now it's called move. I'll just call this move back. And then I'll call this one just move. So move and move back. Build and run. So hopefully it'll bounce. Like, bing, bong. Yeah, it kind of did. Wait a second. Oh, I forgot to animate with duration. So I forgot this part up here. That's why it wasn't very smooth. Animate with duration, and then I've got the, got to close it up. I got one of these afterwards too. All right, let's see what happens there. Wink. That's pretty cool. You know, I think if it were me, I would shake it around even more. And we could probably just put this in a for loop. But all right, that's all that the book really wants to see for that part. Let's for this storyboard, we got to go back in here. We got to change this label to something more successful, other than just calling it label. I'll make this big, and I'm going to say, congratulations, you've been entered. Good luck. Make it multiple levels, and I'll make it green. People love green. Oh, green is too bright. I'll make this whole background color green. And I'll change it to a big font. And we're going to add reset to suggested constraints. Command R, build and run. Final test, I hope it works. So you try to enter it. Oh, it's like, hey, you forgot something. Okay, fine. I enter some email address. Click enter. Congratulations, you've been entered to win an iMac. Good luck. And go back. Oh, then you enter again. And then you enter again. And then you enter again. So now you've got a better chance of winning. So, in fact, you should enter this, and then afterwards you close this out probably. It would take you somewhere before there, or it would check and say, hey, you already entered. So that would be maybe the next section, is to store that email address somewhere safe, and then just double check that you're not entering multiple times, or just throw out the second entry. All right, let me just double check that. I think that's everything, but if it's not, I'll be back. Otherwise, have a great evening.